Welcome to today's webinar on supply chain visibility on Oracle Analytics. I'm Tawana Dyer, Oracle Alliance Director at Apps Associates. I'm fortunate to be joined today by our own Srinivas Patreddy and Adib Kartavil. Srinivas is the VP of the Analytics Practice for Apps Associates, and Adib Kartavil is the VP of our Analytics and EPM practice. Our quick agenda today will be, we're going to give you the visibility to our supply chain tool that is running on Oracle Analytics Solution Cloud with a quick demo and hopefully have time for question and answers. Before we begin with Srinivas's session, I would like to give you an introduction to our company. If you are not familiar with Apps Associates, we were founded in 2002. We have over 875 employees around the world with offices in the United States, India, and Germany. We are recognized as an Oracle to Cloud leader, and we have deep expertise in all things Oracle. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Adib.
Yes, hi. Thank you for joining us today. This slide really covers the service portfolio of the company. If you look at all the different boxes that are presented, you will find that apps can really cover all aspects of the technology and business solutions that your organization might need, ranging from ERP system, CRM, HCM, the integration components that you might need, analytics, which is a practice that I'm responsible for, as well as other services such as managed services, which is really the art of helping you support and maintain these applications in the long term, and giving you the right resources to ensure scalability and consistency. So that's kind of the portfolio of what we do as a company. Next. As far as the analytics practice and the capabilities of the practice, what you find is that we are very focused on ensuring that we don't just implement analytics solution for the sake of technology or for the sake of just rolling out a new shiny tool. The focus that the practice is really kind of zoomed in on is really to ensure that we are able to tackle specific business problems and help you provide your teams, your users, with the right metrics and right visibility to the information needed for them to make better decisions. In order to accomplish that, we have 125 awesome practitioners that really help us drive that business. Some of the best in the business for sure. Very proud of the big accomplishments they've made with many major clients and many implementations. Again, we provide a full life cycle. It's not just a tactical solution to just provide the reports or add an extra data source. It's really a soup to nuts solution that takes you from the design, the assessment, all the way to the extraction process, presentation, staging, as well as presentation. The practice really gets involved quite a bit with a lot of questions, and helping clients answer a lot of the questions that they have related to, how does Oaks work compared to other tools? What is my advantage of going from existing Oracle platform to the Oaks solution, or why is Oaks the right solution for me? And we do that through our strategic services. We are able to answer these questions by tapping into the depth of our consultants and the background and knowledge to be able to answer that. Beyond that first, box that I'm presenting here, the rest of it are things you would probably expect, right? We have all the skills needed related to reporting, ETL. We do the right modeling, the right visualization, helping you really put together a roadmap going forward, and leverage all the tools that are out there, including Tableau and other enterprise reporting tools that you might already have invested in or might fit your need better going forward. Next.
Thanks, Adib.
Thanks, Ruben.
So this is Srinivas Pothiredi, and I'm going to be covering. We'll start with supply chain management and challenges with supply chain. So today, as part of this session, I'm going to take a few minutes talking about some of the key challenges that organizations have had in managing information related to supply chain and how App Associates has helped organizations resolve some of the problems. So what we have seen over the last few months, we have seen there have been increased demand for some products and not so much on other products, maybe reduced demand or inconsistent demand on other products. And as a result, traditional metrics like inventory turns, days on hand that we've used previously to chart trends are getting challenged today. We are not able to use these metrics in order to plan our inventory. There have been delays in fulfilling orders. Customers have been receiving goods, they haven't been receiving goods on time, and managing customers' expectation has become difficult. Now, as a result of this varying nature of demand, it has become difficult to identify how much of raw materials to stock or how much of finished goods to stock in our inventory. Now, this is because mostly of the lack of visibility into the supply chain process, and business owners have been struggling to identify key gaps and how to resolve them. So as a result of these key challenges, what App Associates has done is over the years, we have built solutions for our customers in various ways in order to help our customers meet some of these gaps. So we'll talk through some of the key solutions that have helped customers. And the first one to focus on would be the ability to project inventory. Inventory projection for the next 6 months has been really useful for our customers in order to identify gaps in the sourcing and production needs, predict when customers would really receive their shipments, identify shipments that are delayed, and also expected time when they would receive the shipments. And as we project our inventory, identifying suppliers that are critical, that could be bottlenecks in the supply chain process, and also suppliers at risk. And this enables customers or organizations to focus on alternative suppliers that could help minimize the risk in the procurement process. Production delays are fairly common in many organizations, and that could ultimately result in the ability to get finished products delivered on time to our customers. Now, these production delays could be as a result of unavailability of raw materials or lack of production capacity, but identifying these gaps helps organizations take corrective actions. The final and the most important thing is demand forecasting. Demand forecasting is one of the critical components in this process. And traditional methods that have been used in order to forecast demand have been significantly challenged because of the varying nature of supply and demand that we have seen. And what is needed is advanced analytics in order to make sure that we are able to use new technologies and new techniques in order to forecast demand accurately. So we have seen some of the key problems and solutions. We'll talk about what we have done within App Associates in order to address this and how we have built this. So what we have done is we've used the Oracle technology stack in order to build this entire solution. Oracle technology, so we are starting from sourcing information from the different source applications. These are the source applications that are used to capture sales orders, manage your inventory, maintain your purchase orders and requisitions, and also your production jobs and production planning systems. Now we've used Oracle Data Integrator to extract information from these different application sources and load it into Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse. So the model data is stored in Autonomous Data Warehouse, followed by visualizations in the form of dashboards and reports. And we've used Oracle Analytics Cloud in order to achieve this. Now, the different source systems on the demand and supplies is outlined in a brief as shown here. Now we'll take a look at the demo as we walk through some of the key solutions that have been built in order to achieve the results or solve the problems for our customers. I'll start with managing customers' expectation here. So what we are trying to do here is we are essentially measuring the performance of the customer service department. One of the key metrics that we've used is on-time delivery. On-time delivery is a key metric in order to measure customer service performance. So getting the trend of on-time delivery across weeks and also across product lines and customers has been a good way of understanding how the organization is doing in meeting customers' expectation. identifying the delayed shipments for every sales order that has been delayed, listing those out, and also projecting the expected delivery dates and the quantity helps in managing, helps in prioritizing and also managing customers' expectation, making sure customers are informed about the delay and also the expected time of arrival. So as we look into the overall customers' expectations and how we are doing from a customer's delivery point of view, we want to see how the organization is, what the organization has with respect to the available stock. Now, the available stock is measured in the form of what we have in stock, the inventory positions that we have in different distribution centers in the organization. Now, this is also compared to the demand that is placed against these distribution centers. Now, the overall availability also needs to take into account intra-org shipments. These are shipments coming from other organizations. And also supplier shipments, these are shipments that are planned from suppliers, and along with the expected date of arrival and the quantity. So this gives a snapshot of the overall delivery, overall availability of stock, and how does it compare within the distribution centers against the demand that is placed there. Now, in order to understand a little bit closer into how the demand and supply effect and what are the different components, we want to look at the trend of demand and supply by week and the demand supply across product lines. Now, together, the comparison by week and the product line comparison gives us an idea of how capable the organization is in meeting the demand. Do we have enough supply in order to meet the demand? But this doesn't really get into the root of where the gaps exist. Now, if you want to use this and project our inventory, the different components within demand and supply. Within the demand, if you look at the contributing factors that impact the demand, you have bookings and forecasted sales that make up demand. And on the supply side, you have open purchase orders, you have receipts that are scheduled for receiving, in transits, and then work orders for the production jobs that have to be completed, and planned orders that have been scheduled or that have been planned in order to meet additional sourcing and production needs. So together, these components make up the supply. Now the gap is the difference make up the fulfillment gap. Now, if you use this approach and project this out for the next 6 months, you'll be able to identify the gap that exists within your demand and supply position across the different components. Now, in order to reduce your fulfillment gap, there are two factors that help you with reducing your fulfillment gap. On the finished goods side, you would either source your material source your finished goods from your suppliers, or you would make enough production capacity available or produce enough within the organization in order to meet the gap. So one of the factors is on the procurement side, and on the procurement side, we have suppliers that are critical in order to maintain continuity of service, and there are also at-risk suppliers that may be at risk because of delivery or quality performance issues. In both of these cases, it's important to identify gaps that exist and have alternate plans in order to make sure that the procurement process itself is not impacting the overall fulfillment gap. The other method in order to reduce the fulfillment gap is managing your production. So production delays, there are two important factors of how you capture information related to your production delays. One is measuring your actual production completion jobs against your plan. This enables you to identify how much you're actually producing versus a plan that has been defined, and also identifying jobs that are on hold by product. Together, this helps in identifying the overall performance of the production organization. But when you look at it closely, I mean, there are jobs that are on hold for a variety of reasons. They could be because of non-availability of raw materials or insufficient production capacity. And there are finished goods that are impacted as part of this process. And the finished goods that are impacted ultimately results in non-availability, delayed shipments for our customers. Now, if you look at one of the key reasons for non-availability of raw materials, again, it boils down to your procurement system and identifying suppliers that are critical that could be potential bottlenecks or suppliers that could be at risk and having a plan in order to address these needs. And we talked a lot about the shortages that exist within the organization. we also need to look at, there are some products which are which are in excess, which have reduced demand or inconsistent demand. And there are organizations that have faced situations where the excess inventory lying in warehouses. So in order to make sure that this doesn't go out of control, it's important to make sure that your future work orders or future production jobs are planned against the bookings. And also your raw material that is procured in order to manage your finished goods are also compared against your days on hand. At the detail level, all of this needs to be looked at the item level. So the combination of bookings, purchase orders, work orders, excess availability is calculated based on this. In addition, the inventory days on hand turnover is combined in order to identify items which could potentially go out of hand, and excess inventory needs to be managed. So what we have seen is, we have seen key solutions that we have built for our customers over the last few years, and these affect the information related to business process, related to customer service, inventory management, demand forecasting, production planning. And what is important is we have built the solutions for our customers, and we could do the same for you as well in a short duration, in around 2 to 4 weeks. At this point, I would like to hand over to Adeep, who would talk about the next steps that we can help you with.
Thank you, Srinivas. This was very informative. I appreciate it. As far as where do we go from here? I think there's a lot of questions. I know that what we showed today is pre-generic, and your requirements might be a bit different. That's why we offer, some of our strategic services to help you basically align your requirements with the capabilities of the tools, right? We do that through a series of workshops, assessments, as well as being able to build a proof of concept to make sure that the end product meet your needs and you're able to get what you need out of it. So as a next step, my recommendation would be, let's have a conversation about where you're at, what you're looking to get out of it. We will help you with assessing the feasibility of getting you from point A to point B, and what the process would look like, what would the map look like, and what are the costs and efforts that might be related to it. That would be a natural next step for us to better understand your requirements and put you on a path to take advantage of this great technology that's available to you today from Oracle.
Thank you, Adeep. Thank you, Srinivas, and for giving us a great overview of the supply chain visibility.